Welcome to today's episode of When Railgan Fucks Up. So, what are we having a look at today? It's a game I played against this meching Terran, where I will pull far ahead. We're talking ridiculous amounts of ahead, okay? This guy was already dead. All I had to do was actually bury his body. And instead, we're going to have one of the worst games I've ever played. We're going to have a look at how is it possible to lose a game that you have certainly won, but then you just start throwing everything away at your opponent, and then the eventual doom push hits and almost kills you. This game I'm opening with my standard 2-edge Muta opener. My opponent is going for some Hellion stuff. I'm gonna follow it up with Speed Pains, I think, like Muta Speed Pain or something like that. Going to do a lot of damage to him, that's for certain. But the early game is not that important. I really want to focus on the later stages of this mech game, because that is where the key mishaps start happening. That is where the key missteps are made. So as you can tell, he's losing a lot of workers here. Let's look at the workers kill count. 32 workers lost. So Railgan, you just killed 32 workers of your Terran opponent. How do you feel? Well, I felt pretty good at this point of the game. The guy went for a Raven opener into Mass Viking 4 Hellion. Like, what? One Mutalisk to rule them all, but it's all for nothing. At home, I'm going for a Roach follow-up push, right? Roaches are good units. Man, my opponent is going mech. Let's Roach him up. Oh, that's going fairly well. Oh, I wonder. Oh, my opponent is losing his third base again. So Railgan, you're on 4 bases. Your opponent is on 3 bases. How do you feel? I feel pretty good. Oh, he has Vikings? Oh, well, I mean, you're killing those. Another tank down? His tanks aren't even sieged anymore. Oh, this game, you are really far ahead, Railgan. 40 supply up. Well, I'm ahead in army value. I'm ahead in workers. I'm ahead in income. Like, there's not really that much I could be ahead in right now that I'm not, right? I have better upgrades as well. I got my Crater Spire on the way. I got Roach, Hydra. Well, I got Roaches, so that kind of sucks, but you know what I mean. This is supposed to be a feel-good game, so Railgan goes for the big drop, and this is where things start going south. Let's have a look at how Railgan loses, or almost loses, a mech game. So I'm trying to distract him over here with my links, and then I go for the huge drop in his main. Where do I drop my units? Right in the range of this tank. What do the Vikings do? Well, they kill my overlords, and my units all get clumped up. The tanks shoot at my units. 2 tanks shooting at my units. They're clumping up. Like 1 Tor, 2 tanks kill like 20 of my units. That units lost tab is not looking that good anymore. I still got some units on here, but if I just pulled the units down here, everything would have been fine. My links, or whatever those were, just ran into this tank line. At home, Crater Spire is done. Got more Hydras on the way. They all go into the meat grinder. Links go into the meat grinder. Here come more Hydras. Oh, take him. Take him. Wow. Actually, I killed a tank there. What an amazing trade. Like 10 Hydras for a tank. Well, this probably looks awfully familiar to a lot of you guys, so I'm way ahead in economy, right? I'm 4 bases, got my 5th up, got my 6 being built. Production tab, got my +2 melee on the way, I got my, well, I mean, I got pretty much everything. I'm starting to move more Brute Lords now. Additional Corruptors for even more Brute Lords. I'm pretty much maxed out. And I'm starting to struggle a little bit here, right? I lose a lot of units, more or less for free. He doesn't really have that scary of an army, but I don't really have Vipers in my army, so I can't really take a good engagement here. He has like no income compared to me. I'm building additional Brood Lords right now, trying to make him on siege with my Brood Lords, of course. That's always the goal. I got a lot of Brood Lords, right? I have no Vipers though, so it's still hard for me to push down these ramps. A very key factor in this game is that I constantly have to push down ramps. Like here it's kind of close, here it's hard to push in, here it's hard to push in, down here it's like impossible because I just run into a lot of tanks. So I just don't have enough to shut down his Vikings right now because I don't really have Vipers with me. So I'm trying to push in here. The Vikings just killed all my air units. I then clean up the Vikings. And you could say, well, that was an okay trade, right? I mean, you're way ahead economically, so you should be happy about a trade like that. Also got creep spread up to his front door. Income-wise, he's about half my income in minerals, a little bit more than that because he still has mules. But he's like starting to mine out at his third base even. Got that +3 melee on the way. And it's starting to... I'm starting to kind of feel the pressure a bit here. Because like, he keeps getting more and more tanks and I really want to trade. But his Vikings are annoying to deal with. The Queens do a really good job tanking, if that's what you want to call it. Here some blinding clouds go down, but my Hydra is all stacked up and my entire army is gone, right? I take this fight here. I feel like, well, the blinding clouds are gonna be good. So I go down the ramp and then all my units just die. Watch this. Blinding cloud. But all my units stack up here. And they all just get shelled at by the tanks. Meanwhile the Broodlords are somewhere in, I don't know, in fucking Greenland or wherever. And I keep losing a lot, like look at the trades, I'm taking really bad trades, trying to kill his Vikings here. But he kills even my last Broodlord and now he's like, okay, well boys, we got 12 tanks, 1 Tor, 2 Vikings, let's kill this guy. I'm like, no wait, this is not how it ends. It's like he even starts pulling SCV so he can repair his units. And I realize, well, I have to take fights now. If he sieges these tanks, then my Hydras are gonna die. If he gets in this area, then what am I gonna do, right? So I just start falling apart here. Like, okay, we're gonna take a good fight. So some units here, some Hydras over here, picking off the reinforcements. Then we flank him from this side, and okay, the SCVs tank all the damage, loses no tanks and kills my entire army. Well thinking, that's not very good. Well, we need a Broodlord. Oh shit, he has 2 Vikings. So you can see I'm starting to be pushed a little bit here into a position where I don't necessarily want to be. But this important is I know he has no third base. This is like all he's got, right? This is his everything. So I now attack him with ultras. The ultra is kind of stuck a bit, but I'm actually able to break through parts of his tank line here. And then I realize that I'm going to die. Like he has so few units, but I can't really build up an army big enough to kill his army. He constantly repairs his units as well. He's starting to run out of money here, and it's really hard for me to push to get the necessary units to get. Maybe I should have invested more into Lings, but I think he's going to follow it up with Hellions now. So Lings would actually kill me if I tried to build them. It's really awkward for me to rally all the units to a place where they don't die. And then and then we go for the last hurrah. We actually pull the drones against the Terran. So by pulling my drones, I'm able to get the tanks to do some friendly fire. Like a lot of these tanks are really low. Look at this tank. Wait, this was one of the key factors in this game. It looks very minor, but this one Hydralisk here kills this tank. It's down to 4 HP. Then he shoots at the 4, and if you watch it from his vision, he sees the Hydra, but he cannot attack it because he doesn't have high ground vision. And he cannot scan. So he kills the tank, he kills the mule, he kills the 4. This Hydralisk just killed 5 units with 4 HP. And then here another Hydra is from the high ground, then he actually scans, but I'm able to beat him back, and now I'm down to 30 workers, 40 supply. And all I want to do right now is deny my opponent's third base. So how would I go about winning this? Well, I realize he cannot expand here, here, here. Well, he could expand here, but that's kind of unlikely. So I know he cannot land the orbital if I put creep there. I don't really have much of an army, but I do have some Hydras, so I move the Hydras into position to kill the SCVs, because if I kill his workers and he doesn't really have mining left, I need to be careful against the Hellions, so I try to snipe him with the Hydras here. The Hydras are very well upgraded, so they do a decent job here, and I'm able to kill a lot of his SCVs. I kill the turret, and he's down to 15 supply. All he has is 1 tank, and I actually win the game. Debated. What a game. Please don't make me play something like this again. What went wrong, Railgan? Well, you took a lot of really bad trades, and I didn't really build enough Brood Lords or Vipers, and like fighting down this ramp. I need to make him on siege first with parasitic bombs and Brood Lords and Corruptors and Queens before I push down ramps like this. That's kind of the thing we learned. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soonish. Bobo boys, good night. Good night, good morning. I don't know where you guys live. Thank you for watching.